Oh, hello. Hey, everybody. That was less dramatic than I was expecting. I'm taking a break from the nonary games with a bit of ye old Aviary attorney. Ah yes, birds, they are the thighs of the sky, and sometimes the sea. But most of the time that's sharks. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. This is Innocent Guns, the original. It's a bourbon barrel Scotch ale, which yeah, they age it in a bourbon barrel. It's really nice. Really nice. Anyway, let's get going. Enough about the ye old beer reviews. This has a voice volume control, but I don't know what it means exactly by that, so we're going to find out together. The Chateau Crunier of Baron Rojules. Oh no. Is that Monsieur Grenouille? Oh mon Dieu! Dame Cataline, what have you done? Act 1. A cat with claws. It's midday already. Where on earth is that featherhead? Well, 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 look who finally decided to get up. Haven't you heard about what they say about the early bird falcon? Ugh. Pardon me. Too early for worms. Pass that Cabernet Sauvignon. There'll be time for that later. We've got some business to handle first. Yes, it is Murder Most Frog. Business? A letter arrived while you were sleeping. I haven't opened it yet. It's probably more junk mail. Go ahead, Sparrison. You may have the honours. Alright. Ahem. Dear Monsieur Falcon, I am writing to you today because my daughter, Dame Cataline, has been arrested for a crime she did not commit. She is being held at La Conciergerie prison on the... This is the woman who pronounced domain Demesne. This is just going to be a shit show. I hope you're all looking forward to it. At La Conciergerie prison on the charge of murder, no less. Her trial is in 3 days' time. It would be greatly in your debt if you would offer her your legal aid. Yours sincerely, Seigneur Pertois de Miao of the de Miao estate. Well, this is quite something. I know, your first serious client in months. Not just that, the de Miao estate is well known for its exuberant wealth. Even if we cannot do much for Dame Cataline, his lordship would still reward us handsomely for our efforts. Wow, so I suppose you intend on defending Dame Cataline in court? Of course, it would be foolish to let such a good opportunity slip through our feathers. Grab your coat, Sparrison, we're going to find our kitty client at La Conciergerie. Excellent. My dearie, I was getting tired from all this sitting around. Oh, but I better file Seigneur de Miao's letter first. One moment, Falcon. Pertois' letter has been added to your evidence folder. Ah, the old court record. Ah, they're still coming flooding back. You may access the evidence folder at any time by clicking the suitcase symbol. Ah, nearly forgot my wallet. I wouldn't want to lose that. Again, I recall you losing it at the New Year's party. And at Christmas. Yes, alright, no need to make a list. Falcon has picked up his wallet. You may see how much money he is carrying at any time by clicking on the wallet symbol. I've got 20 francs. That's like nearly €5. Let's make a move. I'm kidding, it's more like 2. Francs not really that much. Welcome to the map screen. From here you can travel to any listed area by clicking on a location name or location node. Areas marked with a clock symbol take a whole day to visit. Areas with no symbol can be visited freely. For centuries, the infamous Conciergerie prison has detained the accused and the condemned alike. Let's go. Falcon and Sparrowson step into the stone-cold foyer of the Conciergerie prison. Southern-faced guards and visitors linger beneath the medieval archways. To be fair, it's not a surprise that there's so much French in this. It is based on the works of a French artist. I can't remember his name off the top of my... Jean-Jacques something. So I knew this was coming. I just can't do the French. I was made to learn French for an entire year at school, and I still suck. The Conciergerie. They say this is the finest prison in the whole of France. The outer walls are impenetrable. The cells are spotless. The guards are well-mannered. What do you want? Good day, monsieur. I am here to see Dame Kathleen de Miao. I am due to represent her in court. Ah, you're a lawyer, eh? Fine, follow me. Well, what are you waiting for? Keep up. My papa hasn't forgotten about me, has he? Dame Kathleen de Miao, I presume. You've arrived. The fantastic lawyer, Monsieur Falcon and his petite assistante, Sparrowson. Milady is knowledgeable. Don't talk like that, Sparrowson. Sorry. My papa told me that he would only hire the best lawyers in town. I'm flattered. But they weren't available at such short notice, so he hired the first people in the address directory. Oh. You see, Falcon? I told you listing under Aviary attorney would pay off. Let's get down to business. Okay, it was not Jean-Jacques Birdman. He has a real French name. Dame Kathleen, could you follow this on some details? Your father's letter was a little brief. I can do my best. What is it you wanted to know? What happened on the night of the murder? What exactly happened on the night of the murder? Oh, let me think. It was Friday evening. Me and my papa had arrived at Chateau Criniere? We'll go with Criniere, the home of the great Baron Rojules. My papa spent all evening talking with the Monsieur Grenouille and the Baron about business stuff. Business stuff? Well, the three of them own a railway company together. So all through dinner they were talking about company shares and investment, but I didn't really understand most of it. But after dinner, this man with a camera took our photograph. That was a lot more fun. Sorry, man with a what took your what? Camera! It's a very new gadget. A tiny bug sits in a box with a tiny red brush and paints your picture very fast. In 10 minutes, poof, you have a perfect picture. Wow, technology is amazing. I don't think the lady's explanation is right, Sparrowson. Pshaw, let me believe. Still, the camera sounds like a very special device. I'll make a note of it. Camera has been added to your evidence folder. Please continue, Dame Kathleen. Jean-Jacques Wissaurent. That sounds more likely, but still I don't trust you. Please continue, Dame Kathleen. So after we had the photograph, I went into the gardens to get some air, and that's when I found the body of Monsieur Grenouille. It was all ripped open. Housemates saw me standing over the froggy monsieur and called for help, and then the police arrived. Before I could say anything, I ended up here. It was such a blur. It must have been terrifying. It wasn't so bad. My papa taught me how to be a brave cat. Was there something else you wanted to ask, Monsieur Falcon? Who was there that evening? Dame Kathleen. Who attended the banquet that evening? Well, there was me and my papa. My dearest maman couldn't make it. And there was Baron Rojules, who hosted the dinner, and his housemate, Coulon, I think she was called. Of course, there was Monsieur Grenouille. You're appalled, and you want to know why you are not trustworthy. Well, there's many reasons you're not trustworthy. I mean, you did give me the initial answer of Jean-Jacques Birdman, so that might be part of it. Well, until you know, he died. And then there was Monsieur Rubitio de Rubinio, the man with the camera, but he was only there for a little while. I think that was all. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? Did you see anything suspicious? Dame Kathleen, did you see anything suspicious that evening? Suspicious? Like, maybe a guy lurking in the shadows, or a bloody murder weapon? Monsieur Falcon, I do believe you're looking for an easy answer. You got me. I did not see anything, I am afraid. The evening was very normal. The food was delicious. The conversation was boring. It is a very ordinary until the incident. I see. Wait, Falcon, you missed something of huge importance. I did? Dame Catalina, you said the food was delicious. But you didn't say what food it was! You and your damn stomach. Let me see. We had a poached red herring to start, garnished with garlic butter. Go on. Then a marbled steak served a perfect bloody rare. Glorious. Falcon, write this down. What? This can't possibly be relevant to the case. Write it all down, please. For me. Fine, fine. Red herring has been added to our evidence folder. I forgot how difficult it is to like swap between voices this quickly because I haven't done this since I did the Dark Side Detective. Yeah, that's been added too. Sparrowson, remind me not to let you talk to clients on an empty stomach. Come to think of it, I did find it a little strange that we weren't given any cutlery. No cutlery? Even for the steak? No. You would think that the great Baron of Chateau Crenier would have gorgeous silverware, but there was none to be seen. That is a little peculiar. Was there anything else you wanted to know, Monsieur Falcon? No, I think that will be all. So what's the plan now, Falcon? The way I see it, we have two tasks. We should head to Chateau Crenier and try to see the scene of the murder for ourselves. And we should try to track down this supposed photographer, Monsieur Rubitio de Rubinio. 2 days for 2 tasks. Seems doable. But we should head back and get some rest first. We have a lot of work ahead of us. Wait, Monsieur Falcon, before you go. You do believe my story, don't you? I believe in justice. Dame Catalina, I believe that a fair trial can draw the truth from any situation. I believe in justice. That's good to hear? You're not wrong, Falcon, but that's not what the lady needed to hear. You might want to work on being less of a... how to put it? Fil de pou... What the fuck does that mean? I'm looking it up. Fil de... It'll probably tell me in a second anyway. Let's see if it... I'll tell you what it means if the game doesn't. If serving justice makes me a feel to put, then I'll wear that title proudly. It means son of a bitch. It means son of a bitch. Dame Kathleen, Monsieur Grenouille, Baron Rougeau, these names are all getting a bit confusing, aren't they? Not particularly. Well, it is for me. I'm going to start compiling a Facebook so that I can keep track of who everyone is. A what? A Facebook. It is a collection of people's names, pictures and descriptions in one easy-to-carry catalogue. I think I understand. The name could use a little work, though. Sparrowson has started compiling a Facebook. You can access a list of people you have met any time by clicking the book symbol. Let's make a move. A new day. This game saves automatically at the start of each new day. But you can also make a quick save at any time by saying save and quit. Selecting save and quit from the pause menu. You can access the pause menu by clicking on the cog symbol in the upper left corner or by pressing the escape key. Okay, so where do we want to go first? I want to go to the Chateau Crenier first. An impressive manor house with an immaculate garden, you don't say. Although I find like I went with I believe in justice because like if she was telling the truth, why would she not take that as an acceptable answer? Because then it would be wouldn't I automatically believe in her because what she's saying is the truth, then the truth is the ally of justice? Because, you know, Wonder Woman is the truth in Truth, Justice and the American Way, and Batman is the justice, and they got on just fine, so they're allied. Sorry, I'm opening my protein cake because I really like these things, and I am something of a glutton. Falcon and Sparrowson enter the courtyard outside Chateau Crenier. People with dirty clothes and gaunt faces linger around the building's shadows. Excusez-moi, messieurs. I didn't mean to be a pain, but my little girl and I are sick and starving, see? I don't suppose you'd have to have some spare change. I'm going to regret doing this voice. Some spare change. You have 25 francs in your wallet. What will you do? I will give you 1 franc. Here you go. Stay safe, madam. Many thanks to you, messieurs. That was really generous of you, Falcon. It really wasn't. Times are tough. Making sure a mother and child have something to eat is the least I can do. But what am I doing here, standing here moralising? Come on, Sparrowson, we've got business to attend to. Falcon and Sparrowson step into the pristine wood-panelled foyer of Chateau Criniere. Well, look at this place. Baron Rougil must be loaded. More than loaded, when it comes to lucrative investments, the Baron is a legend. Factories, chocolate shops, hotels, railways. The Baron owns a little bit of everything this side of the Seine. Is he here right now? Yes, he's the smug-looking chap with the impressive mane. But we must approach a man of his stature with tact and finesse. Hey, Baron, we'd like a word! How's that? Sparrowson, you have the finesse of an inebriated warthog. You can thank me later. I think I got his attention. Did I hear my name? The great Baron Rougil, property owner extraordinaire, at your service. And who might you fellows be? More investigators? We're attorneys. Not quite. I'm a private attorney, J.J. Falcon, and this is my... Oh, that's why they called him that, because the artist's name is Jean-Jacques, so he went by J.J. a lot. J.J. Falcon, and this is my associate, Sparrowson. Lawyers, hey? You know, you're the first to have passed through here today. Oh? Yes, this jumpy, twitchy fellow came by this morning, asked a bunch of questions, then hopped away before he heard the answers. Most curious. Do you know who he was, Sparrowson? Perhaps. I have a hunch. We'll be seeing him at the trial. A friend of yours? Something like that. So what may I do for you, messieurs? We're doing some research on Monsieur Grenouille, the frog who was killed here on Friday evening. Of course. Such a tragedy. He was such a good friend and a loyal business partner. I suppose you messieurs will be wanting to see the crime scenes for yourself. Actually, yes, that would be fantastic. I'm also regretting your voice. I'm trying to do the what symbol? Sorry, could you clarify what you mean by that? And, whilst I take a drink because I'm regretting going for the Brian Blessed voice right now. A beard is the source of my power! It's very difficult to do when you've not been practicing for, like, ever. Well, be my guest. You will find the garden and the murder occurred through the back doors. You may also be interested in the lounge on the 2nd floor, third door to the right. That will be where we gathered for a group photograph prior to the... unfortunate incident. Oh, can we see the finished photograph? I'm afraid not. It is my understanding that a photograph must be developed before it can be viewed. It's a slow process. My own copy of the photograph is to be delivered in 3 days' time. Well, that's no good to us. The trial may be over by then. Nonetheless, we appreciate your hospitality. Thank you, Baron. Oh, the cog symbol in the corner, this. You can barely see it, but it is there. So, where shall we go first? Let's check the garden first. Dame Catiline said that she found Monsieur Grenouille on the stairs by the fountain, so this must be the very spot where the murder took place. Hey Falcon, do crime scenes Hey Falcon, do the crime scene investigation thing. The crime scene investigation thing? Yeah, you know, the thing where you get all eagle-eyed and analyse every object in excruciating detail. You mean search for evidence? Yeah, do that. It's not a bad suggestion. It wouldn't be the first time that the Parisian police have missed something right under their noses. In investigation mode, you are free to examine the scenery of the room. Click on an item of interest and Falcon will examine it in closer detail. When you have had enough, or when you can find nothing else to examine, click on the X in the top right corner. Select an area to examine. What's up with this? Another beautifully made horse statue. You know, my uncle once had a horse that refused to eat hay. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yep, eventually we realised it was just filling up on horse Hors d'oeuvres. Horse d'oeuvres! There you go. It's harder to say that joke out loud. No, I didn't say that. I said clock. Cog. I said cog. Not clock. Oh god. This is exactly the problem that Steve has. He can't say that word anymore because it sounds so much like he's saying cock. Although I expect a cock will show up at some point in this and they will make that joke. Ugh, terrible. Let's check the fountain itself. This fountain is finely crafted. It's solid, carved marble. That can't have been cheap. I see nothing but water in the bottom of the lower basin. It's a shame we can't see inside the upper basin from here. That would be a perfect place to quickly stash a murder weapon. That's actually not a terrible line of reasoning. We ought to wade in to take a closer look, just to be sure. Yeah, I suppose we should. Oh, I apologise, I wasn't being direct enough. What I meant to say was, Sparrison, go wade into the fountain and take a closer look inside the upper basin. Me? No way, if you want to go wading, do it yourself. I'm a respectable lawyer, you can't expect me to roll up my trousers and paddle around a fountain like a duck in a lake. Yeah, well, you don't pay me enough to justify getting my sweet drenched wet. Look, there's only one reasonable way to settle this. We'll flip for it. Flip for it? Yep, I'll flip this £1 coin. You call the outcome, get it wrong, and you go for a swim. So what'll it be? Heads or tails? Napoleon face or plant squiggles? What do we think, chat? Heads or tails? I'm mostly putting it to you so I can have a chance to eat some of this. It's really dry, but it's really nice. And that's one for heads from... But heads it is. Put it all on heads. Don't let me down, old Emperor. Here I go. It's tails. Will it be your pantaloons, Falcon? You're going for a swim. Gah! Fine. Hold my shoes. Falcon really should learn how to spot a rigged coin flip. I know Sparrison's voice keeps changing. Cut me some slack. I almost feel bad for cheating. Almost. Ah, you're back. Oh no, poor Falcon. Look at him. He looks so drenched. Ah, you're back. Have a good swim? No, I'm a bird, not a fish. But I did find a mystery item in the upper basin. It's no murder weapon, though. What is this? It's brown and sticky, and it smells weird. Don't tell me you picked up a very wet cigar butt, possibly belonging to Baron Rojul? Correct. But that shouldn't be too surprising. It is his house, after all. I'll stash it in the evidence folder, just in case. Cigar butt has been added to your evidence folder. Is there anything else we need to do here? Another one. Oh, the mane almost looks lifelike. Would you say it behooves you to stroke it? No. No, I would not. The stairs. Dried blood on the staircase. This must be where Monsieur Grenouille died. Do you see any bloody footprints? Ooh, or maybe a name scrawled in blood written in the frog's last breath. Wishful thinking. All I'm seeing here is a big sticky puddle. There's nothing to indicate the body was moved, or the frog left a last-minute clue. All I can make out from the bloody mess is that Monsieur Grenouille was attacked and killed on the staircase. Anything left? This one has a goofy face. That reminds me of a joke. A horse walks into a bar and the barkeep says, "Why the long face?" Yes, we've all heard that one. What? No. The barkeep says, "You've got to stop coming here. You're drinking us under the stable." I think it's time to rein in the horse jokes. Is that it? Not seeing much else. Another horse joke. Baron Rojul certainly likes his horse statues. I don't mind the horse statues, but the little cherub people creep me out. Baby should be waddling, not attempting saddleless horseback. Not attempting saddleless horseback riding. I don't know why I find that so funny. I think we've got everywhere of interest. And some more statues. Well, we've learned a lot about Sparrowson, so that's something. Let's check the F90 Franks. Yeah, I like how you can tell that Sparrowson wrote this. Well, this is going fun. And the evidence. This is a red herring. Are you sure you don't want to take the dip? We still have time. Don't push your luck. Okay, we've tried the garden. Let's try the lounge. Oh, hello. Interesting brooch. Second floor, third door on the right. This must be the room where the photograph was taken. Psst. Hey Falcon, did you see that? See what? That housemaid totally did something shifty. Shifty? I think she just pocketed something from that drawer. You should totally call her out on it. Excuse me, mademoiselle. Ah. Hang on. I need a voice. Ah! Yes? Are you two policemen? No, we're private attorneys. Name's JJ Falcon. And I'm Sparrowson. Oh, how rude of me. My name is Colleen Doha. The Haute. Yeah, because she's high. Haute. I like it. So, what can I help you messieurs with today? We're investigating the murder that took place last week. Do you mind if we ask you a couple of questions? That's fine. Let me just grab a chair. That's better. What was it you wanted to ask? We're looking for the room where the photograph was taken prior to the incident. Would you happen to know whether this is the right room? Oh yes, you're in the right place. I saw the photography session for myself. Let's see. The cameraman was standing... Well, it's because it's Theo's voice because it's so high. Just about where you're standing, actually, Monsieur Falcon. And where was the camera pointed? Right at the clock above the mantelpiece. The Baron insisted on using that very location. Now that I'm looking at it, something isn't right about that clock. I know, the painting on it totally clashes with the decor. I was thinking along more obvious lines. The clock has no hands. Oh, that clock never had hands in all the years I've worked here. I think Baron Rojules just keeps it around as a conversation piece. Well, we're conversing about it, so I guess it's working. He does love to scream. She's a giraffe. Look, that's why she's got such a long neck and I'm using such a high voice. And she's made of eyelashes. She's a very fetching giraffe. It's a peculiar detail, though. I'll make note of it. Missing clock hands have been added to your evidence folder. Is there something else you wanted to ask? You were a little nervous when we came in. You thought we were police officers. Is there something we ought to know? Anything you need to confess? Oh no. I suppose I'm just a little nervous after all the drama last week. I'm gonna pressure her. Are you sure there isn't anything that you're hiding? Don't get to tell us. We're defense attorneys. That means we help people get away with criminal acts. Right, and... Wait, what? No, that's not accurate job description, Sparrowson. Isn't it? Oh well, what do we do then? I'll tell you later. Honestly, messieurs, I have nothing to hide. Was there something else you wanted to ask? No further questions. Thank you, mademoiselle. You've been a huge help. It's no problem, messieurs. Actually, there is something. I know you two saw me stealing. As you came in, I appreciate that you didn't give me the third degree about it. You see, I'm trying to save up to follow my dreams and... Well, never mind, I'm rambling. It's no problem, mademoiselle. To be honest, we have much larger crime to worry about. Although I should probably ask, I don't suppose you've been stealing anything else? Silverware, perhaps? Ah, you know about that? Yes, I suppose that was me. Yeah, but you couldn't see her face when she first came in. Like, when we first came in, you couldn't see her face. That's why she had to get a chair so you could see her properly. But no, she's totally a giraffe. It started with a couple of teaspoons. I didn't think the Baron would miss those. But, well, I suppose the habit got a little away from me. That's one mystery solved, at least. Missing silverware has been added to your evidence folder. I would appreciate it if you didn't tell the Baron. He's been really kind. I would hate to break his trust. I see. So, where to next, Big Bird? Did you messieurs have a good look around? I trust everything was in order. We had a good look. Thank you, Baron. We really actually have some questions for you. Please ask away. I have nothing to hide. Mademoiselle, I would like to ask about your activities on the night of the murder. Oh? Am I in trouble? Not at all. No, nothing like that. We're just gathering the full picture. I see. Well, let me think. Our guests arrived at 5 o'clock and we all sat down for dinner in this very hall at 6. That part went magnificently. The photographer arrived at 7 o'clock, but it wasn't until 7:30 that we had our picture taken. My housemaid discovered the crime scene soon after that. I see. Is there something else I can help you messieurs with? You mean your housemaid, Colleen Duhot? She's a courteous young lady, isn't she? Yeah, she was quite helpful. Yeah, she was more than willing to help us with our investigation. I'm glad to hear it. Did you two want to ask something else? We'll be leaving. I think that'll be all, Baron. Thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure. Have a delightful day, messieurs. God, doing his voice killed my throat. Did you get all the information you needed, Falcon? I hope so. Don't worry, if everything goes wrong in the trial, we could always just wing it. Terrible. Just terrible. Let's head back to the office and get some rest. Poor throat. The Studio Robinio. So this is the studio of this famous photographer. Shall we knock? Wait, there's a note on the door. The magnificent and marvellous artist, Monsieur Robitio di Robinio, is currently out on an artistic expedition. He shall return when his muse sees fit. When his muse sees fit? What does that even mean? I think it means that he has pretentious bird brain, but in any case, the artist seems to be out. What shall we do now? We shall knock anyway. We should knock anyway. Alright, I don't see the harm. Nope. Doesn't look like he's in, Falcon. We should break in. We should break in. What? Are you serious? Maybe? Monsieur J.J. Falcon, I would have thought the man of justice like yourself would be against such reckless displays of unlawful barbarism. You're right, I'm sorry. I don't know what over... It's a brilliant suggestion. Stand back, I'm barging the door down. What? Just like that? Shouldn't we discuss this first? What in bird... What in bird Jesus' name was that? You said you wanted to break in. I thought we could find an open window. I didn't think you would turn into a bird-sized cannonball. Well, now we're here and we ought to make the most of it. This place is quite something. It's very... swanky? I was going to say ostentatious. That's just swanky talk for swanky. We don't have time for this. The sound of a door being smashed in could be drawing unwanted attention. We should find anything that may help our case and get out. This is a photograph of a castle somewhere in the countryside. You know, I once had an uncle who fell off a castle rampart while I was on guard duty. I'm sorry to hear that. Did he die? No, he got demoted. Ugh, terrible. A butterfly. Or maybe a moth. It's difficult to tell in black and white. And what kind of bird would Bird Jesus be, though? That is a good question. Presumably some kind of duck, because of the water thing. Don't taste test it, Sparrowson. You could, but we don't have time for a hospital visit right now, so let's not. Do I really need to infect all of these pictures? Oh god. I don't know why I wasn't expecting this. This appears to be a photograph of a ladder. Symbolic of climbing towards success, perhaps? It looks more like a step ladder to me. Oh no, we're not getting into that old argument. They're not even hiding it, and I appreciate that. A beautiful picture of the Paris skyline. Given the angle, this must have been taken from Notre Dame Cathedral itself. A lighthouse? No, wait, it's a man in the top hat. Actually, if I squint and turn my head sideways. It's a black smudge, Falcon. This is a picture of a fence. It's a fancy photograph. It leaves the viewer defenseless. Out of all the pictures here, I would pick it as my favourite. Okay, I'm done. No more fence ones. This is a tiny photograph of what appears to be a jail cell. That reminds me. How illegal is this? You know, breaking and entering, rifling through a person's belongings. It's cool, we're lawyers. It's okay. A recently passed amendment allows for proportionate amounts of property damage in the pursuit of criminal evidence. I don't think that's correct, but your use of legal jargon makes me have faith in your credentials. It sounds like you're starting to learn the finer points of the French justice system, Sparrison. A picture of a sailing ship on a windy day. Give me something else to fucking examine. Ooh, what's this? I see a bourgeois tigress in profile. Oh, hello. Hey, Falcon, look! What? It's just an easel. No, look at what's on the easel. Oh wow, this must be a copy of the photograph from the evening of the murder. There's no question about it. I see a housemaid, Dame Cataline, and then there's Seigneur Pourtois, Cataline's father. So what should we do? Do we just take this? We should take it. We've come this far, may as well borrow it. I'm breaking so many laws, it's amazing. Is there anything else we need to do here? Well, I got what I needed, I suppose, and I've looked at nearly everything in the house. I see a finely dressed, dandy fellow upon a horse. I think the real question is, why is everybody an animal and yet they still have human stuff everywhere? What's this? A chandelier. You should get one of those for the office. I don't have the money for that sort of luxury. I think we're done snooping. Let's get out of here before we draw further attention to ourselves. Sounds good to me. Uh-oh. Oh god, I need a new voice. Give me a sec. Oh mon dieu, what happened to my dog? Lie? Some kids did it. Little weasel types, we saw them. Yes, weasels. They were all like, let's break into this art guy's house. And we were like, no weasels, you cannot do that because that would be illegal. And then they were like, we chased them off, that's the important thing. Well, thank you, I suppose. Let's make a move. Trial day is approaching fast. Right, let's go. I pulled through it. I bet we could get to the Palais de Justice. Palais? French, why do you have all these letters you don't use? I mean, this is coming from an English speaker. Have you ever seen the word through? And yet somehow you managed to do a much harsher job than that. Falcon and Sparrison stand inside the marble portico of the Palais de Justice, awaiting the opening of the Tribunal de Grande Instance. Are you nervous, Falcon? Yes. Of course I'm nervous. We're woefully underprepared for this case. 2 days. We only had 2 days to prepare. How are we expected to get anything done in that time frame? Calm your feathers, Falcon. We can do this. Monsieur Falcon, Petit Sparrison. Is there anything you need me to do? No, we've got a handle on things. Falcon was just telling me how confident he was feeling about the case. That's wonderful. I know you two will pull through. Let's move it along, fellas. I'll be watching from inside. Do your best for me, Monsieur Falcon. We will. Are we ready? Yeah, we're ready. God, this is all going to go horrifically wrong. Oh god, I should have saved the beard as the source. I should have saved the judge voice for the judge. Oh god, what are we going to do now? We'll do a different voice for this judge. Alright, settle down everyone, settle down. Is everyone here? JJ Falcon present. The defense is ready, Your Honour. Rupert Rabington present. The ready is prosecution, Your Honour. Oh darn, that's not it. Gosh, where are my notes? Ha! I knew it. You what? Rupert and I went to Paris Law School together. He was in all of my classes. Oh, was he smart? No, he was always scored the second worst marks in the class. I can only assume he bumbled through the final exams on the luck of his 2 rabbit's feet. Unless he's improved considerably, you may have already have this trial in the bag. That's good to know. But say, Sparrowson, if Robert scored the second lowest marks in the class, then who scored the lowest? I choose to exercise my right not to self-incriminate. Here it is. The prosecution is ready, Your Honour. And the jury... I have not decided on a fucking voice for this guy. My poor throat, though. I'll go with, like, a deep, like... I sentence you to be hanged from the neck until dead voice. Are the jury all present? Oh god, how many of these assholes are there? All present and accounted for, Your Honour. Hey, Vulcan, I thought there were only 6 members of the jury for cases like this. Why do I count 8? Oh, those 2 birds with the funny hats are assesseurs, the associate judges. Everything seems to be in order, so let us begin. The court is now in session for the trial of Dame Cataline de Miao. Prosecution, please call your first witness to the stand. Oh gosh, are we there already? Okay, I choose to call the officer in charge of the murder investigation, Inspector Volietti, to witness stand. Inspector Volietti, please approach the stand and recite the oath. As you will, Your Honour. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Monsieur, no, Inspector, please state your name and occupation for the record. My name is Just Volietti. I am a servant to the law, a scourge of the gutter rats that plague this city. I have enforced the law for over 20 years, and I shall continue until I bring the infamous Viridian killer to justice. My path begins 18 years ago. Let's stick to the questions, Inspector. Of course, Your Honour. Oh, sorry, somebody's messaging me on Discord. Who's doing that? Oh, it's you. Thank you very much. I'll use that in a sec, bro. Well, when the stream ends, I'll use that. But that's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Oh, he's put together a thumbnail for me. Oh, great. I was hoping we would have one of those bumbling, cuddly officers, but instead we're stuck with lawful goody two-shoes. I bet this guy would turn in his own mother if he saw her littering. So, Inspector, is it true that you're the lead investigator on this case? That is correct. I was also among the first to arrive at the scene of the crime. Then perhaps you can walk us through what you witnessed upon your arrival? Absolutely. Just after 7:30, we were alerted and brought to the scene by the housemaid of Baron Régule. At the scene of the crime, we found Dame Cataline de Miao. She was standing over the corpse of Monsieur Grenouille with his blood on her paws. Well, that sounds like an open and shut case in my humble opinion. No more questions, Your Honour. Bloodied paws? Nobody told me that detail. Keep it together, Falcon. You're about to be given the opportunity to cross-examine the witness. That's your opportunity to find flaws in the inspector's testimony. Of course, I know this. You may begin your cross-examination, Monsieur Falcon. Cross-examine the witness to find flaws in his testimony. Seek a key phrase that you find suspicious, and the Falcon will press the witness for information. Ask the right questions to bring the truth to light. Avoid pressing for pointless details. The judge and jury don't like having their time wasted. Select a statement to question. Okay, we have an excuse for that. Okay. Inspector Inspector, you say you were alerted to the scene by Baron Royal's housemate.
That is correct.
What was her name?
His name was Colleen Third. We found her running from Chateau Crenier with tears in her eyes.
Colleen. That was the thieving draft lady, wasn't it?
We questioned her extensively, but we didn't find anything implicative. As far as the police are concerned, Colleen Third is not a suspect.
Do I have another question about the housemaid? No, I don't. I think she's a dead end. Inspector, you say you found Dame Cataline. Yeah, Aviary returning. We've all played the Phoenix Wrights and the Danganronpa. Yeah, we have. I know how this goes. Except this is actually more convenient because we get like the whole statement written out and we just have to pick the thing we need. Which is more Danganronpa than it is Phoenix Wright-y, to be fair. This is a good combination of two. It's got a very intriguing art style. I like it. I'm not keen on all the French, but that's only because I'm shit at French. If only it could have been German. Then I'd be significantly better at it because they made me do that for 5 years.
Correct. The suspect was standing right beside the victim's body.
Did you find anything out of the ordinary in the garden?
Out of the ordinary?
Missing gardening tools, broken fences, that sort of thing?
Definitely not. We got the garden and came up empty. Nothing but marble horse statues and properly trimmed grass.
That seems pretty definitive. Do you have another question about the scene of the crime? When you say standing right beside, would you say the two are less than 1 meter apart?
I would say around 3 feet.
Feet? I'm not familiar with British measurements. How many feet are in a meter?
Well, 12 inches in a foot and 2.5 centimeters to an inch, so...
Wait, I need a pen and paper. 12 inches to a foot? That's just plain silly.
Monsieur Falcon, is this going anywhere?
Yes. Yes, Your Honour. The metric system is going towards a unified system of measurements for the entire world. Assuming those stubborn-ass Americans don't drop the ball, that is. I meant for the trial. Does this line of questioning have any purpose? Sorry, I forgot his voice. I meant for the trial. Does this line of questioning have any purpose in the context of the trial? Not in any form whatsoever, Your Honour.
Then stop wasting our time.
Oh god. I've lost favour. Oh shit. No. I would like to ask about the corpse of Monsieur Grenouille.
Go on.
What was Monsieur Grenouille's cause of death?
That was immediately obvious when I arrived on the scene. Monsieur Grenouille had a gaping slash from shoulder to thigh. Blood was everywhere.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, Valerti? Why are you using feet, man?
I spoke with the gardener and he was in agreement. The dog died from blood loss directly caused by the open wound.
I see. I suppose there's no chance of arguing this was an unrelated injury, huh? Yes, I do. Tell me about the slash. Inspector, could you describe the cut on Monsieur Grenouille's corpse?
Certainly. It was a single vertical slash. It was a fine and deep cut, the sort that you expect to see from a sharpened saber or a surgeon's knife.
Or a cat's claw?
Certainly.
Wait. You say a saber or knife could have infected the wound. Isn't this a line of investigation worth pursuing?
Don't be daft, Falcon. Do you hear anything about a knife or sword at the crime scene?
Well, no. Well, no, I didn't. But it's a possibility, is it not?
Without evidence, it's a pretty unlikely possibility. Let's stick to the facts.
No, I think I asked everything. Inspector, you say Dame Cataline had blood on her paws.
Correct. Blood going to her fur like it to a convict.
Whose blood was it?
Ah, what's a question? It was Monsieur Grenouille's, of course.
How can you be so sure?
I object. This line of questioning is absurd. There's only one murder victim that night, Falcon. The blood on Dame Cataline's paws could only have belonged to one person, Monsieur Grenouille. Judge, Falcon's trying to delay the trial by asking pointless questions.
I'm afraid the prosecution may have a point, Monsieur Falcon. Do you have any reason to suspect that the blood belonged to someone other than Monsieur Grenouille? I do. I do, Your Honour. Actually, I have more than suspicion. I have evidence that the blood on Dame Kathleen's paws had nothing to do with the murder.
This is foolish time wasting, Falcon. If the blood on Dame Kathleen's paws didn't come from the victim, where did the blood come from?
On the evening of the murder, Dame Kathleen ate a bloody rare steak. Is this true, Monsieur Rabington?
In a manner of speaking, I suppose steak may have been on the menu.
Then, Inspector, would you acknowledge the possibility that the blood on the lady's paws did not belong to the victim, but to the steak?
Well... Wait, don't answer that, Inspector. It is a possibility.
No! He's turning a bit wolfyish here. You gained a little favour with the jury. Okay, I'm back on an even keel. So, Inspector Filerti, is it possible that you arrested an innocent bystander simply for being a messy eater?
Now, hold on just 1 minute. Falcon, you are overlooking something quite crucial. Dame Kathleen is an elegant bourgeois kitten. She was no doubt brought up with a flawless etiquette and perfect table manners. At the banquet, she would eat a steak with a fork in her left hand and a knife in her right, like any proper civilized animal. How could she have possibly got blood on her paws with such good manners?
Oh, that's a good question. Or at least, it would be at any ordinary dinner banquet. As it happened, something was missing from that particular banquet. Something that forced Dame Kathleen to eat with her paws. Dame Kathleen was forced to eat steak with her paws because the silverware of the household had previously been stolen.
Stolen? I don't remember any mention of that in police reports.
We weren't aware of anything missing from the Rojulle residence when we performed the initial investigation. But as it happened, Baron Rojulle approached us about the very subject last night.
Ah. What a twist!
Oh god, I hope that Hippo never talks, because that's his voice now forever and always.
What is the meaning of this? Bloody steak, misplaced silverware?
Inspector, was your investigation so lax to overlook these basic facts in your initial report?
Lax? My investigation, Judge, I assure you, and the most thorough investigative officer on the force.
Then it is quite amazing that the Parisian police managed to solve any crimes at all.
Heh.
Oh dear.
Be on your way, Inspector. Perhaps do a little inspecting for your next case.
Fine, so be it, messieurs, until next time.
Prosecutor, I trust your next witness is ready.
Yes, of course, Your Honour. I recall, let's see. Monsieur Rubinio, the photographer who attended the banquet on the night of the murder.
Monsieur Rubinio, please approach the stand and recite the oath. Oh shit, what voice did I give him? I don't remember. And it was only like 5 minutes ago. I only have so many French accents. I've used like all of them already. I think he's like an old seaman character, and that's why he has a patch too. Like he's lost his hands in the sea. Like he's an old naval man. It's all of these characters have just been repurposed from the original illustrations. Okay, Rubini is just going to have a different voice because I legitimately cannot remember what he sounded like.
How does it go? I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I'm not giving him a Fies voice, I'm saving that for someone else.
It is a little poussette, to be perfectly honest. Could the witness please introduce himself for the court record? As if anyone in this courtroom does not immediately recognize me. I am the great Monsieur Rubinio, cutting-edge photographer and a visionary. I don't just take people's pictures, I capture their very essence. Je suis l'artiste, tout est un pipe. You may have seen my works in hit magazines, Le Branché or Secouche Chouette. I can send you tweets if you like.
What on earth is a tweet?
Bird-to-bird communication. Go on, Falcon, it's the 19th century, get with the times already. Oh yes, your works are very impressive, Mr. Monsieur Rubinio, but let's get down to business. Could you tell us your activities on the night of the murder?
Very well. I was hired by Baron Rojulle to capture the evening's events.
I arrived at 7 in the evening, I pointed my camera and captured the beauty of the banquet in one fantastique photograph. I'm turning into Hercule Poirot here, it's getting a little bit ridiculous. Then I billed Baron Rougeau and left. Like a true artist.
And with regards to the photograph itself, who did you photograph?
As that you might ask, I bought a copy so you could all see for yourselves.
Oh, very good. Let's take a closer look. My word, that is an exquisite picture, isn't it? So let's see, who do we have here? In the middle we see Baron Rougeau, the lion who hosted the event. On the left we see Seigneur Portois de Mea, the father of the defendant, Dame Kathleen. And finally we see the housemaid, Colleen Dehoe, who I suspect may have stuck into the picture uninvited. As you can see, two people are clearly absent from the photograph. The first is the victim, Monsieur Conwy. The second is the defendant, Dame Kathleen de Mea. Quite suspicious, wouldn't you agree?
Just a moment, Monsieur Babington. This proves nothing. So the defendant and the victim were not photographed with the others. This doesn't mean they were in the garden together at that point.
Hold your horses, Falcon. We're not done yet.
The prosecution may continue.
Behind the photograph subjects, we see a wall clock with the time at set 7:30. Now, why is that time significant? Well, as Inspector Folletti told us earlier, that was the exact time the murder took place. Do you see, Falcon? Every suspect has an alibi at the time of the murder except for Dame Kathleen herself.
Hey Falcon, that photograph doesn't seem right. It looks different from the one we borrowed from Robinio's studio. I see it too. Our photograph shows Colleen Dehoe, Madame Kathleen and Seigneur Portois. But Monsieur's Robinio's photograph shows Baron Rougeau where Dame Kathleen should be standing. If we assume that only one photograph was taken, then this demonstrates that one of the photographs must have been edited in some way. We should just slam that evidence down like BAM! Inconsistency! This whole courtroom is out of order! Case closed! I can't do that. Well, I suppose you could be a little more delicate with your words. No, I mean, I can't do that because our evidence was illegally obtained. If I were to present it, Monsieur Robinio would ask how we acquired it and the whole trial could derail. In a worst scenario, I could lose my In a worst case scenario, I could lose my legal license and we would be arrested for theft. Oh, well, we don't want that. No, we don't. I should tread lightly. Your Honour, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. Very well. The defence may proceed. Rate my voice acting, by the way.
Well, it's a waste of time if you ask me. Photographs are rock-solid evidence.
Monsieur Robinio, you said you arrived at 7 o'clock. Give or take a couple of minutes, yes. How long did it take to set up your camera? It took perhaps 25 minutes to find a shooting location, put together the camera and ready the film. So you arrived at 7 and the photograph took place at 7:30 and you spent 25 minutes setting up. At least 5 minutes unaccounted for.
Falcon, surely you aren't suggesting that Monsieur Robinio did something nefarious in this...
Nefarious? Okay, is that a spelling mistake or is he going to be called on this? Bet's in the chat.
Nefarious in this small window of time?
No, I'm not. Not at all. I'm just trying to piece together the evening's events. I spent a little time talking with Baron Rougeau. When I arrived, that's probably where the rest of the time went. Yes. How did you know? How do you know that you arrived at 7? Well, the clock in my ass read 6:45 when I left, and the walk to Chateau Collier was about 15 minutes. I don't claim to be a flawless timekeeper, but I am a professional. I always stick to the appointment. No, I don't. I would like to ask about the camera itself. Go on. How exactly does the camera work? I'm afraid that is a patented trade secret. Oh. But it is a mechanical device, yes? You point it at something and it clicks in words and shoot out a photograph? That's quite a crass explanation. It's true that I point and click the camera, but that only creates... Yeah, nefarious. That word should be nefarious, but it's nefarious for some reason. This game came out 5 years ago. Do you think it will be a bit churlish to point that out to them now? It is true that I point and click the camera, but that only creates a negative, a prototype of sorts. Then I have to develop the photograph, and that takes time. How much time exactly? Around 4 days. This photograph is out of the press, if you will. I suppose that does explain why the Baron hasn't received his photograph yet. Can a camera ever make mistakes? Now there's a question only an imbecile, technophobic Philistine could ask. No, monsieur, the camera is a flawless device. My photographs offer a perfect reflection of reality. Nothing more, nothing less.
So if there is an inconsistency between a photograph and reality, what would that imply?
An odd question. I don't think a thing could ever be possible.
If one were to see such a thing.
Falcon, stop dancing around the point and tell us what you were trying to get at.
I see a mistake in the photograph.
A mistake? Impossible. I just told you, monsieur, the camera is a perfect unbiased device. The photographs it produces are flawless. Falcon, I'm not seeing any mistakes. Perhaps you could be more specific.
Certainly. The clock in this photograph. There is something not right about it.
Well, isn't that convenient? The defense sees something wrong with the key piece of evidence that implicates his client.
Don't give me that cocky tone, Monsieur Rappington. I have the evidence that there's something wrong with the clock in that picture. The photograph clearly shows that the clock's hands pointing at 7 and 6.
That much is self-evident.
Yeah, I think it's a spelling error too. Is it, like, because of my shitty voice acting? Because I did ask rate my voice acting and I haven't got any ratings yet. Do it out of 50.
That much is self-evident.
Which is most curious because the clock in the lounge of Chateau Cornier has no hands.
It has no hands?
The clock is merely a decorative piece, a talking item. Feel free to ask Baron Rougil or his housemate if you have doubts. Monsieur Rubinio, how do you explain this discrepancy?
I don't know. There must be some sort of mistake. My camera is flawless.
There is no mistake, monsieur. Your photograph depicts something that does not exist in the real world.
Maybe there was an error in the printing process.
An error precisely where the clock's hand should be. Please, monsieur, don't patronise us. Allow me to offer a more plausible explanation. You, monsieur Rubinio, edited this photo.
Edited?
I'm no expert, but I suspect that you used paint or ink to carefully put hands upon the clock. It would have been a simple task considering the clock face was bare. One can even speculate that you specifically chose to include a handless clock in the photograph to simplify the editing process. Oh, thank you! A solid 50 out of 50. Oh, mwah. Mwah. I'd like to thank the Academy.
Malcolm, your reasoning is absurd. Why would the witness do such a thing?
Is it not obvious? By showing the photograph to have taken precisely at 7:30, it clears all the photograph's subjects of suspicion. In other words, Monsieur Rubinio created a perfect alibi. Of course, this raises further questions. Who is the witness protecting? And why? Was Monsieur Rubinio coerced, bribed, threatened? Enough silence. Let's hear some answers, Monsieur Rubinio.
Fine, you've got me. I'm guilty. I did it all.
You did it? You're confessing to the murder of Monsieur Grenouille?
What? No. I have no idea who killed the frog. I'm just admitting that I'm guilty of producing fraudulent photographs. I was ordered to make changes to the printed photographs, and yes, that included adding ends to the clock.
You were ordered? By whom?
I dare not say.
Monsieur Rubinio, I strongly advise you to answer the defence's question. You have pledged to speak without fear, after all.
In respect, Judge, I fear his clause. More than I fear punishment of the justice system. I shall name no names. His clause? Did you hear that, Falcon?
That is most unfortunate. Monsieur Rubinio, we cannot and shall not torture names out of you. We don't live under the ancien regime, after all. But since you have admitted to falsifying evidence, we cannot keep you on the stand as a witness. Take your leave. You shall be charged with perjury in due course.
I cannot protest. This is the least I deserve for my failure as an artiste. Good day, messieurs. So, the clock's hands were painted on. So what? It doesn't matter. The photograph still depicts Dame Kathleen in his absence due to the time of the murder. Close to the time of the murder. That is significant.
Don't be dense, Monsieur Rabington. If the photograph is not completely genuine, then it cannot be considered reliable evidence.
Well, why not? It's still a portrayal of the night events.
Because if we accept that one part of the picture was edited, then we must accept the possibility that other parts were too. Is it possible that Dame Kathleen was painted out? It is possible that Dame Kathleen was painted out. Even worse, it's possible another person was painted in. We know that the witness was trying to cover for someone, so all possibilities must be accounted for.
What are you saying, Falcon? The housemaid paid off the photographer, or is it some new portrait de Aviary house? I don't think so. The housemaid lacks a means or motive, and it wouldn't make sense for Seigneur Portois to implicate his own daughter. Well, sure you're not suggesting that the honest and beloved Baron Rajoul deliberately tried to frame Dame Cataline? Because that would be the most outlandish theory yet. The Baron is a pillar of our community. He would never do such a thing. Like, I've made Ravington so breathless that I'm starting to feel a little bit long-headed whenever I do his voice for too long. Monsieur Ravington, I am not here to throw accusations. That's the job of you, the prosecutor. However, perhaps I should offer my opinion. Oh god, this is the worst case scenario. But Baron, it's not time for your witness testimony yet. So you would think, prosecutor, and yet I see my good reputation being tarnished by your incompetence. Incompetence? Indeed. Let us proceed with the witness questioning. Is that fine with you, Judge?
Yes, I suppose that's fine.
Very good. My maid is the source of my power. I trust the defense has no objections.
I have to do that to set my voice back right. No objections here.
Fantastic. But before I forget, I pledge to speak without fear and prejudice, etc., etc. Now, prosecutor, ask me about what I witnessed over the course of the evening.
Okay, Baron Rajoul, on the night of the
initial dinner went magnificently. When the photographer arrived, Monsieur Grenouille left to visit the garden. Dame Cataline followed behind him moments later.
Seigneur... I have no idea if I'm saying that word right.
Seigneur Portois, Monsieur Rubinio, and myself were engaged in conversation. So we paid her no mind. After the photographer had left, my housemaid left to go find Monsieur Grenouille and Dame Cataline. That would be when I heard her cry for help.
Oh God, his voice is hard. Thank you, Baron. I think we all know the story from there.
I would like to cross-examine the witness, and hopefully he won't speak again, but I know he will because that's how cross-examination works. Pray for me, please.
Do you doubt my integrity, garçon?
I'm just here to uncover the truth, Baron.
Very well then, hit me with your best shot. Let us establish with absolute certainty that I, Baron Rajoul, am an honest man.
The defense may proceed with a cross-examination. My poor throat. Well, I'm definitely not continuing after this case is over because it's killing my fucking throat. Baron Rajoul, I'd like to ask about the dinner you served that evening.
Very well, ask away.
Now, about this red herring. I should not have asked that, it's obvious.
Yes, what about it?
I'm not sure, but I feel it is vital importance to the case. Malcolm, I just want to clarify this is, are you saying you wish to pursue the red herring? No, I am not an idiot. Now, on second thoughts, I suspect the red herring may be a diversion. I'll leave it alone for now. That's a good call. That's a good call. The joke was starting to wear thin. Earlier today, we established that silverware was stolen from your residence prior to the banquet.
Indeed, I am aware of who the culprit is, but I have decided not to press charges.
It is curious then that you decided to serve steak. It isn't what one would describe as finger food, after all.
I don't know about that, Falcon. With the right attitude, all food can be finger food. There's nothing curious about it. Seigneur Portois and Dame Cataline are vocal lovers of fresh steak. I was merely suiting their needs.
Are you saying that because he's big and has like a flowing mane and is very regal? So basically, am I saying you're calling him the murderer for the same reasons you called George the murderer in Deadly Premonition? Because I'm just asking here.
Besides, what other choice did the Baron have, Falcon? Serve vegetable broth like a common peasant?
Do be quiet, prosecutor. You sound ridiculous.
Sorry, Baron.
No. Baron Rajoul, I have some questions about. Hang on, I want to check something quickly because the name Grenouille is bothering me. Oh, you're saying because he's posh? Yeah, but so is Cataline and her dad, so. So they could have done it. So I'm just looking up to see who, why that name sounds so familiar to me. Wow, this is really helpful. Like, I'm sure there's a French word that sounds like that, but I can't... What's frog in French? Yeah, it's grenouille. I thought that was the case. Okay, so in French, frog is spelled Grenouille. I'm just going to stick that in the chat so it's easier to see, because I don't know about you, but hearing stuff spelled out loud is kind of annoying. It's not as useful. So his name is just the French word for frog spelled phonetically for English speakers. It's amazing. I love it. God rest his soul. What was your relation to Monsieur Grenouille prior to his demise? We're business partners. Monsieur Grenouille, Seigneur Bertois de Mier, and myself all own a third share in an up-and-coming railway company. Excuse the crassness of this question, but that means that you and Seigneur Bertois would now own half of the company each, correct? Correct. I suppose there's a slight glimmer of benefit that arose from this foul situation. But monsieur, you must understand that Monsieur Grenouille and I were friends as much as we were business associates. I mourn the man's passing. Of course. Yeah, I do. Why did Monsieur Grenouille leave to visit the garden? I believe he wanted some fresh air. The steak did not sit well with him, I fear. Oh, I see. But it's quite coincidental timing, isn't it? How so? Well, Monsieur Grenouille felt sick and left the room just after the photographer arrived and just before the murder occurred. One might draw a link between the food and the sickness. Hold on, Falcon. I'm sure you aren't suggesting that Monsieur Grenouille's food was poisoned in some way. I mean, I guess. I am. The events are too closely tied to be of mere coincidence. I'm no expert, but I think the steak would have been the perfect medium, because it's a steak, to carry a small amount of poison. My word, what a revelation, but what evidence do you have of this poisoning? Bearing in mind, of course, that the coroner found no signs of poisoning and no poison was found at the crime scene. Oh, well, to be completely honest, there is no hard evidence of poisoning, but we can speculate. No, Monsieur Falcon, we cannot. This child is a farce. Guilty for sure. Oh no, I'm back down again. There's no need to bring out outlandish theories like poisoning into the equation. Monsieur Grenouille always had a soft stomach. It's no surprise that he couldn't keep down a good rare steak. Do you have another question about Monsieur Grenouille? No, right. Baron, we saw the murder scene in your garden for ourselves. I really want to ask what's with all the horses. Oh, fuck it. If I may ask, what's with all the horses? I beg your pardon? There are all these horse and cherub statues in your garden. To be frank, we found the whole thing a little weird. Could the defense please stop horsing around? This can't possibly have any relevance to the case. Nay, it doesn't. Nay, Your Honour, it doesn't. But hey, you can't brain a man for trying. Not bad at all. I do. Baron Rajul, when was the last time you ventured into your own garden? As it happens, I have quite serious allergies. Sorry. As it happens, I have quite serious allergies. I haven't been in my own garden for years. Years, you say? Indeed. That's not right. Baron, I do not wish to call you a liar, but that claim does not hold up to scrutiny. Oh, and why is that? Because we have hard evidence that you visited the garden recently. Balderdash, my word is gold. Show this court the so-called hard evidence that I've been in my garden. This was found in your garden. To be specific, it was found inside the fountain basin. Right beside where the murder occurred. A cigar butt? That could belong to anybody in. Prosecutor, please shut your mouth. I can speak for myself. Oh, okay. Sorry, Baron. As indeed the remnants of one of my cigars, but please, I must apologise, Monsieur Falcon, for I misunderstood your initial question. You see, prior to the banquet, I hadn't visited my own garden in years. But naturally, after hearing the housemaid's cry for help on the evening of the murder, I rushed outside. I was shocked and disgusted by what I saw. It must have been when I dropped my half-smoked cigar into the fountain basin. You see, Falcon, that's a perfectly reasonable explanation. I would find that to be believable if the cigar were casually discarded, but as it happened, the cigar butt was found in the fountain's upper basin, a location that could only be accessed with great inconvenience. And a little paddling. The cigar butt was not dropped, it was deliberately hidden. There are any number of possible explanations. Are there? Because I can only think of one.
That is, you, Baron Morgil, deliberately hid your cigarette butt to disguise your own illicit activities.
Did I know? And what illicit activities would those be?
You want me to spell it out? Fine. Let's put everything on the table.
You, Baron Morgil, murdered Monsieur Grenouille. That is what you were trying to keep hidden. Directly accusing me of murder? How shamelessly brazen.
That's a ludicrous accusation, Falcon. The Baron is an upstanding citizen of the highest order. Your allegation is baseless. You have no evidence, no means, motives, or opportunity. No evidence? Think hard on Monsieur Ramington. For every piece of evidence points to Baron Morgil as the prime suspect. You want the means? The Baron certainly had the means. His lion's claws are as sharp as a surgeon's blade. Gutting a frog belly would be trivial to him. Even Monsieur Rubinio confessed just moments ago that he feared his claws.
Ridiculous. I would never threaten a man with violence.
You want a motive? The Baron had at least 10,000 francs worth of motive. By removing a business part of the Baron's share of his railway company increased from 1/3 to 1/2.
This is preposterous.
And finally, the Baron had an opportunity. No, he crafted the perfect opportunity. He arranged a small banquet with a very select number of guests. He was aware of the missing silverware, and yet he served steak, a food item that necessitates good cutlery. Why? To bloody the hands of his guests, of course. Then he hired an easily influenced photographer and staged a very specific picture in order to build a perfect alibi for himself. But photographing the guests in front of a handless clock to make for an easy editing is quite an ingenious plan, it must be said.
Prosecutor, just going to let the slanderous yarn go uncontested. Say something, object!
I am...
Oh, you're pitifully useless.
After executing the murder, the Baron found himself still holding a single piece of incriminatory evidence. His finished cigar. He knew that leaving it at the crime scene would raise suspicion, but he didn't have time to properly dispose of it. So out of desperation, he threw it into his fountain out of the sight of his guests and any snooping police. I imagine the Baron was hoping to implicate Seigneur de Bourtois de Miao, since that would ensure total control over his railway company. Alas, Dame Cataline was the first to happen upon the crime scene, so the Baron improvised.
This is an outrage! Judge, I demand that you disbar this ranting lunatic.
No, there is only one outrage here. That is, a man like yourself is able to abuse his wealth and status to frame an innocent girl for murder. You are a bourgeois of the worst kind.
How dare you, Gaston! The utter nerve of a lying scumbag of a lawyer to accuse a philanthropist like myself of something so heinous! I am nothing like the fat cat bourgeois. I am a respectable and hard-working capitalist.
No, you are a ruthless man who would slaughter a dear friend just to reap a few francs.
You incredulous whelp! I ought to gut you right here and now, like a damned frog.
Could someone please restrain the Baron?
Alright, Your Honour. Let's go, old man. To the conciergerie with you.
Don't touch me, you filthy jackdaw. I can walk myself.
This is quite a turn of events. Does the prosecution have anything to add?
Well, in a manner of speaking, well, to be honest, no.
Then I shall now confer with the members of the jury to come to a decision. I ask that the animals of the court please be patient in this time.
Malcolm, that was pretty incredible. Thank you, I just hope it was enough. What do you mean? You just proved Cataline's innocence. We'll get the not guilty verdict for sure. Sparrow said, I think you misunderstood something important about the justice system. What's that? I haven't proved anything. As lawyers, we cannot deal in proofs. That's just not possible. All we can do is organise the evidence and convincingly explain what it suggests. I haven't proved Dame Cataline's innocence. All I've done is demonstrate that there's a significant possibility that she is not guilty. I'm not sure I understand the difference.
We have reached a decision. In light of recent revelations, it is clear that an error of judgment was made with the initial arrest. On that note, we unanimously find the defendant, Dame Cataline de Miao, to be not guilty.
He is a lion and he is dangerous. Monsieur Falcon, Petit Sparrow said you did it. As I suppose we did, didn't we? We should head back to the office so we can celebrate properly.
You did it, Falcon!
I can't take all the credit. This was a group achievement. I'm so proud of you both.
I'll go get 1 bottle of wine and 3 of our least dirty glasses.
You're amazing, Monsieur Falcon.
I was nothing.
I very much like the way you pinned the murder on the Baron. That was an act of sheer genius.
Well, I didn't pin anything. Sparrowson and I just worked at unveiling the truth, given the facts of the case.
Monsieur Falcon, there is no need to play coy. The case is over.
Play coy?
Don't tell me you're actually being sincere.
I'm completely lost.
Oh, wow.
I thought the goody-goody thing was an actor you actually didn't know. Alright, I'll spell it out for you.
What? She actually get it?
I murdered Monsieur Grandouille. I saw him in the garden, all drunk and vulnerable, and I seized my opportunity. It was nothing personal, just business, you understand?
Business?
To increase my papa's share in the drug company, of course. My papa says that the drunk old frog was the weakest link.
Your confession doesn't make any sense at all. I found Baron Rougil's cigar butt hidden in the garden.
Oh, I put that there. I expected the police to find it, but I suppose that was putting too much faith in the brains of Paris' finest.
But Falcon proved that Monsieur Robidia's photograph was edited.
It was edited. I wasn't in the picture because I was busy paying a visit to Monsieur Grandouille in the garden. But Papa knew I needed an alibi and ordered Monsieur Robinio to paint me over Baron Rougil and to add the hands to the clock. But that lazy artist didn't manage finishing altering either photograph by trial day. It is a good thing that Monsieur Falcon was so imaginative, because that could have gone very badly. What's with the silence? You should both be proud. There aren't many lawyers in the whole of France who could have won a case like that, even for a bourgeois kitty like me.
I think you should leave.
Fine. So much for the celebrations. Here's the payment for your services straight from my papa's pockets. Well, adieu, Monsieur Falcon. Adieu, petit sparso.
Falcon, what do we do now? Falcon? Oh my god. I was not expecting that turn of events. Oh, that's insane. Oh god. Oh wow. Ooh. Yes. Save, I guess. And I'm going to leave it there because I did say I only need one case because my throat is actually killing me right now. So I'll stream more 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors next, and then we'll continue with this. Hopefully we'll do all this again. So I'm just gonna hang on. Quit without saving. So I will see you all then. And I wonder if we'll ever get Kathleen for this. I really do wonder. It took Phoenix Wright like 2 games to get to this point, but God, Aviary Attorney does not kid around. So yeah, I'll see you all next time for a 999 a nonary game stream. But for now, we'll call it quits here because my throat is literally killing me right now. Bye!